130 digital releases. Merchandise discounts. Hey, new music every month. I'm listening. I got it. It sounds pretty good to me. But what is it? It's the Swamp Krewe. Get in the Swamp Krewe. This is a Fuzzy Cracklins Presents and The Swamp Records gig right here. For just $5 a month, you get all that. Now, if you bump it up to $7 a month, you're going to get a CD sent to you and some swag every once in a while, and free shipping, and your first month is free. Mind blown here. So what do? Go to www.theswamprecords.com/doomtomb and get in the Swamp Krewe. You want to hear some great stuff? Death Gang, Green Hog, Lunar Swamp. I mean, please, list goes on and on. Head over there. Even check it out on Bandcamp first if you want. But get in the Swamp Krewe. I guarantee it will be worth every dollar you spend. Also, Mucho Printing for all your band branding and family gifts. You got something you want to get for someone? Hey, head over to Mucho Printing. Link is in the show notes. And who doesn't need band branding? It's an easy time to do it right now. We got a lot of downtime. Let's get everything in order, all the ducks in a row. And when we get out to go to some shows and some live events, damn, you're all set. Also, Glory or Death Records, link is in the show notes. Head over to the Big Cartel page or the Bandcamp page and get what they got going on. Deep Purple tribute, Thin Lizzy tribute, Moss Generator, Roast, Great Electric Quest, Love Gang, Smoky Mirror, Red Witch Johnny, the list goes on and on. Head over there, find out what you need, and pick it up now. It's the Doom Tomb Podcast, the podcast for all things stoner, doom, and sludge. My name is Chris. I am your host. Today we've got, well, a little bit of craziness. I don't know, man. I remember that I had a few beverages, and I think they did too. Maybe some other things. I'm not quite sure, but we're going to find out. The album is called Stonan, and it is out now. It was released on September 18th. They're out of Kansas City, Missouri. Let's talk to these guys right now. Chronic Lethargy is a stoner tune band from Kansas City, Missouri, with influences reaching into all things slow, smoke-filled, and heavy. It's hard to pin Chronic Lethargy to just one genre, and I can't say how true that is. Their debut EP, Sleepless, is available now on Bandcamp. But not only are we going to get to that, we're also going to talk about their latest release called Stonan. And I have a couple of the members from Chronic Lethargy here right now. Gentlemen, how are you today?
Doing good, man. Real good and fantastic.
Could you please go around and introduce yourselves?
I'm Nathan, the keyboardist. I play keys and alternative percussion in Chronic Lethargy. My name is David. I'm the drummer in Chronic Lethargy.
My name's Carlos. I play guitar in Chronic Lethargy.
And I'm Jesse Long, and I'm the vocalist and guitar player.
Whoa, I didn't expect that. Came out of nowhere. That's awesome. Holy shit. Okay, so, first off, thank you so much for reaching out to me. A while ago, I purchased Sleepless. Crazy stuff, man. And I want to get into that, and I want to get into a few other things. But we've got this other release, this brand new thing coming out that we're going to get to down the line. Now, with this first release, Sleepless, we have this intro, and then we're going down this rabbit hole of all-encompassing different things regarding sleep, whether it's patterns, whether it's problems. Is it different? Is it actually an issue or not? If you can, in a nutshell, what can you tell me about the first release?
Carlos, do you want to talk about the thing or
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it really just started with David, Nathan, and I playing overnight in my garage because we all had really late night cook jobs. We would get off work at midnight, just in time to buy alcohol, hang out in my house.
How quiet we had to be.
Yeah. We had David had to play on an electric drum set, and then also got a snare, but had to like muffle it as much as possible. We all played on the smallest amps, as quiet as we could.
Right.
But yeah, we just wrote this. These set of songs is like we all in this band suffer from like sleep problems.
Really?
Different types, and oh yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. So do you? Okay, so am I correct in this? The David Carlos brothers, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you
Them
think any?
Balmaceda boys. Yeah.
Do you think any of this or any of these sleep issues are hereditary?
I guess it might be.
They could be. I mean, we haven't really looked into it, but yeah, they easily could be for sure.
I can see that.
Because I know that, like, for me personally, if I put my head down on the pillow and I turn just a little bit over to the left, that's it. I'm out. It's black. It's dark. There's no dreaming. There's no bullshit. And then all of a sudden, I wake up later and I'm like, ugh, stretch and, get out the day. Now, my wife, on the other hand, she could have like a 15-minute cat nap and then not sleep for 2 hours, and then fall asleep, and then wake up at 3 a.m, and then be awake until she has to go to work, and then be exhausted the next day. I've never experienced anything like that. I've always, as soon as I hit the pillow, like, I just fall out, with the exception of maybe a handful of times in my lifetime. What does it feel like going through the day without that amount of sleep?
It's invigorating. That's the word I would use. Like, it's not exactly like what an ideal situation would be, but like you're definitely running on a different type of like mode than everybody else is.
Right. Is it like, okay, so I mean, let's face it, we're going to get into the album Stonan eventually, and personally, I felt like I was completely fucking high the entire time, and I wasn't while I was listening to it.
Yeah.
I've been really enjoying the release. Thank you so much for sending it over. Do you feel like you're running through the day kind of in like, like a daze, like that you were high?
Sometimes it does feel like that, for sure.
Oh, absolutely. I'm going to say that.
Yeah, I'd say being sleep deprived is like the closest to being on psychedelics you just naturally feel. Like, because
definitely
you go long enough without sleep, you just start seeing shit during the day as you get awake.
You're 1,000% correct. I remember when I was in college and going through those days of being sleep deprived. You go to college, you go to work, you want to have a social life, and next thing you know, you're running on 2 hours of sleep. I'll never forget driving. Isn't it fucking crazy?
Yeah. It is, dude. It's I don't condone people driving that shit, but like, you're going to have, if you're working that much, you're going to have to do it. So
yeah, you got to get through it, man. I remember I was on this highway, and I know that it's just a straight stretch, just like any highway would be, but I saw a brick wall coming up. And I knew that there was no brick wall, but I knew that it was going to be so fucking cool just to try to blast out through that wall. And not only was I blasting through that wall, as I was doing it, I was looking to the right, on the passenger side, and I saw somebody running right next to me. So I was that kind of hallucinatory feeling. It was like, holy shit, I don't know what's going to happen next. It must just drive you crazy sometimes when you don't get proper sleep.
Yeah.
Sometimes, and this is just a random thing, just a little quick sidebar real quick, like in the Midwest there's tons of deer, and like I'm not on that type of sleep, like riding to work or whatever, like I just see a deer jump out in front of me.
Right.
It's just one of those, but there is no deer. It's a similar type of situation.
Mm-hmm.
No shit. I had that once when I grew up in upstate New York. Deers were everywhere. There was this one circle that you had to go around before you went up a mountain, and the deer would all congregate there. And I had those deer whistles on my car. I don't know. Do they work at all?
I don't think they work, personally.
Yeah, I had some, and I don't think they worked.
I don't know. Maybe it's even like a whistle to like, come over here, deer. I don't know. I can't figure it out. Either way, so
Yeah, you're catching female deer jumping at your car.
yeah, you know what? That's weird because I saw one with like they were batting
Okay,
eyelashes
cat
at me.
call, deer call.
It got real weird, and personally, I'm not into the deer romance thing, so I let it go. I was
feel
just
that.
like, you just give the single finger and the nod, like, yeah, I got you over there. It's good. You stay over there.
Bye bye, birdie.
It just basically it got weird, is what I'm saying. So, Kansas City, Missouri, how does that affect the sound of chronic lethargy?
I think the smoke.
Yeah, I mean, there's just not much else to do here.
It is Midwestern. Let's be honest. Like, they have the middle of the map fest here.
Right.
Because it is straight a middle of the map, what people would consider a flyover city. So
Yeah.
I think like barbecue, smoke,
Yeah.
that low and slow type thing mentality, I think.
Absolutely.
Very nice.
Low and
Like
slow.
that, yeah.
So a lot of smokers
so.
going on in that area. No pun intended.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No fun at all.
There you go. But you know what? Everybody's got a place, a scene that they go to. When your band plays outside, or plays in different shows. I understand we can't do that as much right now, but where do you play? And if a band is coming through that area, where should they go check out to sign in to get a show going?
Probably the Riot Room currently.
Okay.
And then
They have an outside venue.
Yeah, they do have an outside spot. And hopefully when things blow over at this other place that's rebuilding, called Davies Uptown, that's one of my personal favorite places in town. Interesting.
All right, good, cool, guys. Now, I mean, I've seen you play in some. This is the thing, I interviewed a band earlier today, and now with you guys, and when I see the list of the bands that you have played with, it's very rare that I see a band that you played with twice, maybe like Cat Daniels or something, but Vital Forms and Twin Towers and Metal Roach, Gypsy Rose, Frequency, there's so many, or even Jupiter and the Moons. When you're out in that area,
Shout out those guys.
yeah, right. When you're in the Midwest, are you playing more mixed bills, or are there more people of the genre?
Mixed bills for sure.
It's definitely more mixed bills. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I got you. Now,
I think that is very inherently Kansas City, I will say. Like, You're not going to end up on a bill that is just a stoner doom bill, or you're not going to end up on a metalcore bill. Yeah.
so you're going to have people from different, maybe a little stoner doom, a little punk, a little alternative, grunge, whatever.
Yeah.
I think party is the main vibe
Okay.
Yeah.
for all those shows.
Yeah, loud amps in the face, fucking save lives. We know this already. And, it kind of actually goes into the next thing I want to talk about. You were a part of Kansas City Noise Fest. I have not heard of that. Please introduce me to it. Tell me what it was, what it meant to you, and, what's going on with that.
So, the guy from Twin Towers, who played a couple shows with them, Ben, he puts on the Kansas City Noise Fest, or did anyway. And it was just a bunch of harsh noise artists, mostly like people with just playing with pedal boards and contact mics, shit like that.
Sure.
And he hit us up because we put him on a couple shows. He wanted to put us on the Noise Fest, and we were like, hell yeah, man, we would love to do it. So we opened up 2019?
Yeah.
Noise Fest? Yes. We opened up that at the minibar, and it was a lot of fun, man. We did a lot of improv stuff at that show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
we
was
were
going
one of
to
the
ask,
only full bands there. It was cool.
did you change the material a little? Did you make it stretch a little bit?
Mostly.
Yeah.
I think we played sorry.
Oh, you're good.
Go ahead.
I was just saying that we did improv quite a bit in that show, but we've had roots in not necessarily harsh noise, but like noise in our music since we started. A lot of noise artists have really taken to us and put us on in different shows in different ways too. So.
Right.
Which is fucking awesome.
And to change
Kind of cool roots to come with.
To change even further, Inter Arma, you were on a bill with Inter Arma on the 21st of May. A great, good show?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God, great.
All right.
Absolutely.
But here's the big
Nothing
question.
but shouts out to Inner Arma. Those guys are the fucking some of the heaviest guitar players I've ever seen live.
Now, I saw the show just 4 days later than when they were with you. I saw them in Tempe on May 25th. Now, here's a question, because I saw something that I've never seen before, which is the drummer, which mind escapes me right now. He got naked on stage. I don't understand exactly how it happened, but next thing you know, he took off all his clothing and changed into other clothing. And I was curious because...
Dude, that is fucking rad.
Well, you're the first people that I have talked to that had, you were you were on the bill. Did he get naked every show? Was that a common occurrence? I don't know.
No, that did not happen at the show in Kansas City.
All right, fair enough.
That would have been dope if it would have happened, though.
Well, you know
I
what?
went to California and saw him, and he didn't do that.
Okay, so just to be fair, and honest, the collar,
lucky, man.
The collar matched the cuffs, if you will. And I'll just leave
Hell
it at that.
yes. God damn it.
Look, I'm just saying.
That's awesome, dude. That's some rock and roll fucking energy right there.
It totally is. And look, you know what? Somebody gets on stage and they're taking their clothes off. It's like, I kind of don't want to look, but then I kind of want to look more. If that's possible.
Dog.
So it's like, all right. And out of respect, right away, a million people bring their phones up. I said, no, fuck that noise. I ain't doing that. And I did not put up my phone. I don't
want pictures of somebody's fucking junk.
Yeah.
Somebody else's junk. Maybe not.
There's really not a need for that. Now, moving forward, David, sir.
Yeah.
I saw that you were. What were you doing, man? You had this Pit Lord apron, which is an incredible piece of merchandise, by the way.
Thank you.
Yes, and what were you doing? Do you work in fish or something?
No, I was working at this hotel in downtown Kansas City, and we would break down our own fish.
Mm-hmm.
So I was breaking down a salmon in that picture, and I think that was the week after
it was like
we
9
saw.
in the morning, dog.
It was like 9 in the morning. Yeah. It was like the week after we played with Pit Lord, though.
Mm-hmm.
And I bought their apron and like a spatula. Pit Lord barbecue-themed death metal band from Davenport, Iowa. They're fucking awesome.
I remember what you
them
said. You were like, they better not say shit at work about me wearing this goddamn fucking
And they didn't. They didn't say a damn word about it.
Shouts out that place, I guess, for a little bit.
Yeah.
And so we've discussed the slow and low technique here, and Pit Lord. I mean, that is such a unique niche market right there. I mean, barbecue death metal.
Dude.
Yeah.
I've known the dude Lyndon and Dan both since I went to high school with them. Those guys were never gonna not be like doing what they do right now at this very moment.
I got you.
They are just those guys.
You know what? I personally don't know them, but I love it. I fucking love the idea. Even just going another level, and not quite in the genre. There was this guy that I saw years ago called the Sauce Boss, and it was more like Cajun style music. It wasn't heavy or anything like that. But
like Zydeco?
Yeah, like Cajun Zydeco, exactly. and he would set up a gumbo, and he would cook a gumbo while he was playing, and then serve it to the audience. I was like, "There's a market for that."
Hell
That's
yeah.
great.
That's awesome.
That's great.
It really
Kind
is.
of
man.
reminds me of that chili guy at
The Beaumont
the
Club.
Beaumont, yeah.
Tell me about it.
You and Carlos have to tell the story because it's kind of amazing.
The Beaumont Club was just this old venue that it closed down a long time ago here in Kansas City, but there was always this dude in the back, like not too far from the restrooms were, and he just had this table set up with a like a Bunsen burner with a pot of chili on it, and he was just slinging bowls of chili in like a styrofoam bowl for like $3
All the time.
Hey,
every show.
that's fucking perfect, man. You know, we had an event here. I worked with this guy from this band Old Fashioned Assassin. His name was Kyle, and we put up this thing called Planet Mammoth, and I'm hoping that we get to do it again sometime down the line. And we were trying to figure all that out. Like, we should get somebody, whether it's barbecue or whether it's somebody that just makes chili, or just, you know, that old school term, you know, just I'm just fucking slinging hash here, and just for a couple bucks, you get this and you go. Period. I think.
Yeah, you can just get like a plate of it, like everybody gets their plate type thing.
Yeah.
Everybody gonna eat.
Absolutely. Now, this is a side thing, and I know I didn't mention this before. Either of you pro wrestling fans, or maybe in the past or future, you know?
In the past, definitely.
Yeah, okay. So
not so much anymore, but David was talking about watching SummerSlam or something like that recently.
Oh yeah, it was. Yeah. That shit's weird, dude.
Well, you know,
just tonight.
I mean, I haven't watched for a long time, but I'll never forget this night. I was in Florida. I used to live in Florida also. Kissimmee, which is close to Orlando, you know, and Disney and all that crap. And there was this company which was ECW, and crazy company, and they, oh man, dude, ECW in the day was the shit, no doubt. And they had a show at this place. It was basically an auction house for cattle and, you know, other animals. And, you know, it was like cement seating. It was really an interesting spot. And they had this, not even like I guess a vendor of sorts. And they had the best pulled pork and the best beef brisket and all that kind of shit that I've ever had. Like, when do you get that at a wrestling show? But it was, so it kind of
Or
reminded
maybe
me.
even in general sometimes.
Oh, exactly. And it kind of reminds me of when you're telling me about this guy slinging chili. It's like you're going to a show and, you know, you're going to grab a beer, whatever, and I don't know, whatever else is there. But am I going to grab fucking chili? Well, you goddamn right I am if that guy's slinging it.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're telling me you're not going to drink a fucking Budweiser or whatever the hell you're drinking at the bar and going to grab a bowl of chili?
Right.
It's the best. I mean, you know,
I'll fuck with
obviously,
that energy.
you know, my wife would say, you know, don't stand behind me afterwards. But yeah, chili is awesome, man.
Yeah.
Right.
So, all right, I don't know how it happens, but I must love food so much because it seems like every fucking podcast I bring that up. But let's move forward to this no sleep only jams. How did this get created, and like was this due to the lockdown or what? What can you tell me about it?
Yeah. Pretty much.
Most of it's lockdown.
Yeah.
Some of it was pre-made. We made it before. Like, we've been working on these ideas a lot before, and this was like the first amalgamation of like us actually being like, "Hey, let's release all this shit."
Right.
Yeah.
Now,
There's a lot of. I'm sorry.
it seems like it takes a different turn. It's not quite Sleepless. It's not quite Stonian. It's something different. Is the No Sleep Only jams kind of more indicative of what's to come?
Yeah,
I would say some of the riffs, yeah.
Interesting.
If you're talking Riff City, then yeah.
Okay.
A lot of the stuff that we have on No Sleep Only Jams was stuff that we were working on around the same time that we were writing Stonan, but it was stuff that didn't necessarily make the album.
I got you. Now, you guys played a show very, very recently. Can you talk about a little bit and like how different it might be to what you have played in the past?
Yeah, it was different because, everybody was asked to wear masks. We played outside. Initially, it was going to be at the skate park where there's going to be a bunch of room.
Right.
But the guy who rented the generator got rented a shitty generator, so it didn't work. Yeah, it was already broken when he rented it. So we moved the show to our house. And, we played the show on our back deck. And it wasn't as safe as it could have been, but, we did it the best we could.
Okay.
For what we had.
Different people are trying it. I know there's a band, Lords of Dust. They did it at a skate park. And, they had the social distancing. I wish I knew the rest of the story, man. I've talked to multiple bands about it, and I just don't know what the rest of the story is. But, as long as everybody's staying safe, we can socially distance. We'll get through it. And it was a trial and error. Do you think you're going to try something like that again soon?
I think we're going to try to change it up a little bit, right, Carlos?
Yeah, because we did it so off the cuff this time. If we do it again, we're going to do it. We're going to have time to plan it. And probably, honestly, we were even talking about just setting up a page or something for people to RSVP and just get hard RSVPs. And then we just limit the amount of people that show up. And then we're talking about getting better gear to record our live shows or live stream our shows, I guess.
That makes total sense, investing in that right now, because I don't know when we're going to get back to a normal, if there is one. And
the new normal. David loves that name. David is been so cheesed off by that.
Go ahead.
No offense, not to call you out, David.
Go ahead. Tell me about it. Go.
It's fun, right, David?
Yeah, it's so fun.
I'm so egging you on.
The new normal, man.
Are you?
Yeah, but that's just how you have to do shows now. To make it more of a showing, not a show. Limit the amount of people that can come, maybe 15, 20 people. Set them up outside so they're all spaced apart, and that's just kind of how we have to do it, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
that's the rules now. It just is actually the new normal. But I just egging you on. But it is actually the realest thing that we have to talk about seriously.
And don't get me wrong.
Moving forward, playing shows.
If there's one person that hates the word new normal, it's me. I fucking hate using that term because it's
it's so bad, dude.
Oh, stop! I understand where we are. I look. It's the same thing. You, me, we're not doctors. I don't know the rest of the shit. I don't know everything that's going on. I just know I want to get back to where we were. And I don't know when it'll happen. But until that time, we have what we have. And if we have to do an online show, we have to do an online show. If it has to be an Instagram story or not or feed, whatever you want to call it, or if it has to be Facebook Live, that's what it has to be. We'll get back there eventually, and until that time, people can head over to Bandcamp. They can buy your stuff, and we got a brand new release coming up that we have to talk about. I just have a few other quick questions before we continue here. I saw on social media there was a drum that was bought at an auction. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Okay, so David me and David were talking about buying that for a while, and the lady that he hit up didn't hit us back on Facebook Marketplace for a fat minute.
Right.
You're talking about the table drum, right?
Yeah, it's this huge fucking looking thing, man.
It's huge.
Oh yeah, the huge.
Somebody painted over it, so we've been like slowly chipping away and like trying also not to ruin the skin head on it, so we can re-stretch it.
Right.
But like it was $40. Anybody out there wants to drop some money on a table drum from an estate sale, then maybe $40. But like no, it was, and it boomed. But
Right.
we haven't got to the point where the paint has been taken off of the whole thing, so.
Yeah, so it doesn't sound great yet.
Yeah. Eventually, we'll get to the point where we're recording it.
It really looks huge. So, all right. So, if you got this from an estate sale, what was going on? Like, do you ever get any inside information, like who owned it before, or what was, it's somebody's estate. So, did you get any info on that?
I think it was David. Do you remember where the estate sale was, or like what was the lady's name that was that? It was a woman, right?
Yeah, I don't remember what her name was or where she got it out. She said she got it out of like a storage unit, like it was an auctioned off storage unit.
Okay, so she got it, and then she passed it on to somebody else.
Yeah,
Fair
and
enough.
it needs to be tuned up, and it's kind of a project. Yeah.
All right. Thank you for that. So, lastly, before we get into the new material, I think I got to take a drink here. Hold on a second. Delicious. Cherry limeade with lemonade and vodka. Fantastic.
Yeah.
All right. So,
I fucks with that.
it ain't bad, man. I'm telling you. So, I'm looking on some social media right this second, and I see an instructional video on proper assembly of a PB&J sandwich. Who was creating this?
That Jesse, you tell him about that.
Yeah, that was me making that peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
You rocked it, brother.
And yeah. Oh, thank you. Yeah. It was
Can I
delicious.
say Mighty Fine Blazer on that video, Jesse?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I got that at a thrift store for like $3.
Nice. All right, so for those that don't know, traditional PB&J, obviously, don't forget the Pit Lord apron was added. Now, when you're creating the PB&J, is it just are you just gonna go straight up, or are you gonna deep fry? What are you gonna do with that?
Well,
Jesse, tell them what kind of jelly they got to use.
the thing is you got to use strawberry because strawberries are better than grapes.
Really?
That's
Interesting.
that's the main idea.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's just facts right there.
That's facts. Strawberries are better than grapes.
Well, okay. Look, I'm not gonna argue on that question.
Hot take.
Fair enough. So it's just going to be jelly. Is there ever a chance that you might add something? You might add a little banana, a little honey, or possibly even. I'm just going to go rogue. A little fluff.
Psilocybin Benji.
A little
Details
psilocybin.
in there.
Are we?
A little bit. Just a little bit.
A little cinnamon. I don't know. Yeah.
All right. So
We'll have to work on that.
okay, fair enough. Okay? So
We'll make another video to make a better peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
I appreciate that, and maybe you name it something, a little chronic lethargy PB&J, but or just chronic lethargy sandwich, because I want you to keep it open to interpretation for whatever you might want to add later.
I love that.
Yeah.
Fair enough. So, we're going to get into this album, and it's only been about 40 minutes or so since we started this conversation, and we're finally getting into the album. This album, thanks, guys. I appreciate you hanging out.
Yeah, no problem.
Glad to be here, man.
The album is called Stonan, Stonan. I have to admit, I felt completely high while I was listening to this while never taking a hit. It's an incredibly diverse album. This is an expedition. This is not just a few hour trip. Like, I live in Arizona, I live in Phoenix, and if I was to travel to Sedona and back, that would be considered a day trip. This is no day trip. This is a full fucking 3-day weekend. Bizarre, unconventional vision that you guys have created. So, and speaking of visions, Caustic Visions had illustrated the album. What can you tell me about that illustration?
Well, the main guy on the front is Stonan. He is the ape that pretty much is awakened throughout the album. And then I believe to the left is the Underbaker, right?
Yeah, no, the Underbaker's to the right.
So to the left is the Stash Bearer. The Stash Bearer is a character who helps Stonan along his journey.
Okay. He's basically like a merchant he runs into.
Yeah.
Now, is the Stonan we'll go into it. Is the Stonan a part of the Stoned Ape theory?
Yes.
Okay. So let's go down this
route.
Like, go ahead.
Yeah. So he's like the first one who or he's not the first one, but he's like an ape who takes psilocybin Kubenzis or finds them out in the path, like in the woods or whatever. And then Stoned Ape theory is supposed to be like a montage of him gaining consciousness and slowly becoming man in a sort of way.
Interesting. We gotta go down this rabbit hole here. Let's kick it off. Now, I apologize because what you sent to me, I don't know if it's in order or not. I'm going to start off with the track Medusa Bong. We got some psych. We got some trippiness. We got a lot of weirdness here. I mean, if I was to culminate this, I was like, this is what's going on in my head. I mean, the drums don't necessarily hit me over the head. It's more like they trudge along like an anvil-footed monster. Plus, I get some synth, and it gets fleshed out completely. What can you tell me about Medusa Bong?
Well, Medusa Bong is actually one of the first songs we started writing for this album. Not the first, but one of the earliest songs we started writing. And, it's a really weird one. It's probably one of the trickier, the harder one to play whenever we play it live, but definitely a personal favorite of mine.
Right. Okay, any of you other guys have anything to add?
I will say, when I was writing the synth parts for that entire song, Jesse and David and Carlos had that song pretty much mapped out before I even got to it, and it was already a fucking banger. When I heard it, I was just like, man, I'm gonna have a hard time fucking drawing up synth lines, but the synth lines that I did end up drawing up for it, I was just like, it ended up fucking just making it one of the heavier songs we've ever played, seriously.
Nice. And it's, I don't know, I apologize because as I got sent this, I don't know whether it's in order or not, or whether it's just in alphabetical or whatever. Is that the first song? What is the first song on the track? The
first song. The first song would be Stoned Ape Theory, whenever he, is becoming man or whatever.
All right,
and
you know
Dash
what?
Bear, whenever he
Let me move over there then. Let's go over to that, and maybe that's a better way to do it. Let's go to Stoned Ape Theory. Okay. So we're talking a little Terrence McKenna, a little, Food of the Gods. I like the. I like. I don't know whether it was bongos or whatever. I remember seeing them.
Yeah, it's bongos.
All right, there you go. And this is a point. Terrence McKenna discussed it. A release of anxiety and inferiority with the ego, basically, due to mushrooms. Mushrooms basically helping evolution. The higher doses dissolving the ego. So basically dropping the defense mechanisms. What can you tell me about stoned ape theory?
I think mostly Stoned Ape, the whole Stoned Ape thing as a parent, like as the cosmonaut that is Terrence McKenna, this guy.
Right.
Like, seriously, the way that he talks about the idea of, like, it breaking down, it just ends up being so just energetic in the way that we kind of interpreted it. Like, Austin kind of came in and just kind of busted up the fucking... He just came in and leaded the fucking song. He owned it.
Yeah.
That bass was very heavy. It drove the song. And then, honestly, we wrote that song, I'd say, in, like, 2 fucking practices because of how just fluidity it felt. Like
it was kind of mindless how we wrote it. It didn't really take much effort to do it. It all just kind of fell together. Like,
and it was one of those, like, ego death type ways of writing music.
It just kind of came out.
It was like a primitive instinct, you know?
Yeah. You were just feeling it, man. And that's the best way sometimes. All right, so we got Stoned Ape Theory. What is the next track?
Stash Bear.
Then we go into this Native American almost sounding, and then, quite honestly, the vocals scared the shit out of me. I didn't expect them to come at all.
I like that.
And what can you tell me about that track?
Honestly, me and Carlos had did some acid the night before, and it wasn't particularly the best time that we've had on acid. There's a lot going on in our lives, and I feel like a lot going on in everybody else's lives.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
So it was a kind of a culmination of all of our anxiety, our, like, what's going to happen. Like, we're already scared. Like, we don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Like, our lives are kind of shaken by the bass, so...
Yeah, you and
Kind of
Carlos were coming down off acid the next day, and you came over to me and Jesse's house to play that. We started writing music, and me and Jesse, we were in kind of a depressive state or whatever, because we were about to lose that house or whatever, and just a bunch of other shit. And yeah, so we were just all in, like, kind of a dark place when we wrote that song.
That's interesting to me that you would say that, because, you know, when in the genre, like stoner tune, psych, whatever, you know, there's a lot of head bobbing, and it's not like the rest of the body. It's just like, you know, like I always say, like, I crunch up my nose a little bit and just kind of almost like I'm saying no as I bob my head back and forth. But this is not that kind of track.
Yeah, exactly.
This gets a little further, because as I hear it, I'm like, and I'm thinking to, you know, other people and what have you, where, like, the arms start moving and the freak flag starts flying. That's what I got out of this track. It's interesting. You tell me where you were, but when I hear it, I'm hearing, like, almost a freedom of sorts.
Yeah.
The ending part of that song, Carlos, you said it before, it kind of sounds like church music at the end. Like, it's very
really
uplifting at the end.
Yeah.
Like, those harmonies that just hit at the end are just...
Right.
And I think that was the main point of that. Is just, it felt like the release, it was just like this beautiful, like, it finally all came back together, you know.
I got you. All right, brothers. So what is the next track on the release?
It would be Medusa's Bong.
Okay. So we went over that. We got some psych, some trippy, some weirdness. What is the track after that?
Smoke Break.
got more of an instrumental. we got the cough hitting it off, you know. I mean,
I'll open up with some bong rips.
it's totally fucking in my head. It's
That's kind of my homage to Bongzilla No Play.
yeah, and you know what? Also, you got the keys in the background, kind of like vibing you out. It's like late '60s chill, and towards the end, we take another hit. So, I guess the question is, what strain do you use while having the smoke break?
What's that Skittles that we've been getting?
Yeah. Some, like,
Oh yeah, I guess.
Skittles cake, some shit. Yeah. I mean, that's what we have been getting.
Yeah, that's what we've been getting.
On the track, we just loaded the bong up with like a bunch of keef and like some dabs on
It was
top
like
of
straight
it.
keef bowls.
Yeah.
Sure.
We purposely made ourselves soft.
Haters will say it's fake, but we really did kill ourselves.
We went out of our way to choke. Like,
Yeah, they were hard hits.
We had to redo those takes.
Yeah.
Just say that.
Like 50 times or something.
Maybe
Right,
2 or
yeah.
3.
You know, until we were
They're full
tired
keef bowls. We can't spare that much keef.
enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hear you guys. Yeah, man. And great track. You know, it just kind of set the tone. Almost
It's one of my faves.
almost like a palate cleanser a little bit, you know, to prepare for some other music. Okay, so what is the next track?
Stonasia.
Stonasia. So I don't know how to put it, but like almost like definitely separated, chill, heavy, had the rain in there somewhere. What can you tell me about that track?
Jesse, he wrote most of it.
Yeah.
Definitely a riff salad for sure, and it like a good riff salad.
Yeah. So whenever I was making the song, I was really thinking about how just the whole thing should just be movement, almost like when you watch Fantasia. There's just a bunch of different things going on. So I wanted this to be just a mix of everything that we've been working on, all packed into one song.
I got you. I understand. I mean, it's another great. This is such a unique experience. You know, I never know what to write down as, you know, like I write down like different adjectives or whatever. I felt like there was this alternative tentacles kind of release. And what I mean by that is, like, growing up, you know, I listened to a lot of Butthole Surfers. And
Oh, nice.
I appreciate where they went.
I fucks with the Butthole Surfers, dude.
Yeah, incredible band, man. And I hope someday I get to see one more release or one more tour. I don't know if it's going to happen, you know, whatever, but...
I don't know. I think Gibby Haynes is signed out, man.
You think he's done?
I think he's done, dude. I saw him being normal. I feel like he's an old guy now. No offense to him. I don't want to hate on him, but, like, I feel like he's old now, and he's just, like, all that acid that he did back when he was, like, 20s and 30s. Like, I feel like that's a whole different time of his life.
Yeah, maybe it caught up with
I don't
him.
like to admit it. But it is true, I think.
That's okay, man. You know, it's so funny because as I was listening to your release, I also loaded up some old Butthole Surfers into my phone so I could listen to it while I walk the dog. I know that sounds ridiculous, but I don't know. I just had a...
I mean, whatever music to listen to while you walk the dog, man.
I don't know. You know, and oh yeah, because what was it, Independent Worm Saloon, where there was a what was the track? It was something like something chocolate, I think it was called. They were chewing chocolate, and where'd they get it? The doggy dropped it. I know. Fucking disgusting.
Love this shit, dude. Seriously.
All right, so what is the next track?
Stonan.
Title track, technically.
Yes. Okay, so we get to something here that is probably, to me, the cleanest, with a heavy fuzz, very thick. The Ascent to the song really had me. Completely, I would say, adrift, unbalanced, but yet fantastic. What can you tell me about this track?
That's another riff that, well, the main riff in the beginning was definitely brought to the table by Jesse, you know, and that riff is just, that song is just so fun to play live. It just, honestly, it's every time it's a crowd pleaser. It gets people going every time, especially that beginning part.
It sounds like starting a motorcycle.
It really does, yeah.
It makes total sense. And believe me, by unbalanced, I mean that in a good way. It's like, I love the idea when I don't know where it's going next and I don't know what I'm going to hear next, and then it's a completely pleasant surprise. Great track, brothers.
Right.
And
thank you.
So what are we missing?
I appreciate that, man. Seriously.
What's the last one? Are we at the last track, Underbaker?
Yeah, Underbaker.
Mm-hmm.
Underbaker. So you know what? As I'm hearing this, man, I hear some almost like demented folk in a weird way.
Right.
Coming to probably one of the harsher vocals of the entire album.
Shouts out Carlos. That'd be Carlos's vocals in that one.
Yeah.
And I think also one of the biggest solos, ending out with some synth. What can you tell me about this track?
This song is another personal favorite. I probably already said that like 3 times, but I always do that as we go through the track listing. But I love this song. I think the main riff is super heavy. Jesse completely kills the solo at the end. The synth part that just rides out to the very end. It's just, personally, it's my favorite track that encompasses everything that Chronic Lethargy does, from like our heaviest side to our, like most psyched side.
Right. Yeah. It definitely.
It's also a really old song too.
Oh, yeah. Really?
We've been writing this one in Medusa's Bong. Those are like the first 2 songs that we've been writing for a minute. That took a lot of work. Let's be honest.
A lot of work for us, yeah.
Yeah, I originally wrote this part on keys.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Interesting. So, if you were to go through the tracks, what track took you the longest and the shortest to create?
That's a hard question, man.
I think
it was definitely the longest. Yeah, if you're talking recording and learning and like the whole musical process of jamming a song, yeah, I still think Stone was the longest.
I would say probably shortest would be a Smoke Break, maybe, right? Or maybe
2 days we had it.
Yeah, or Stone Day Theory.
All right, guys. Well, thank you very much for that, man. I appreciate it. So, where can everybody?
Absolutely, man. Thanks for having us.
Oh, you kidding me, man? I heard Sleepless a long time ago, and I was like, this is something. I don't know what it is, but I like it, and that's all I need.
Right. I love that. I love that interpretation.
But now you come to me with Stonan, and it seems like it's a progression of sorts, but it's so fucking in my head. It's so good. Why don't you just give a shout out? Where can everybody reach you on social media?
I personally think our best way to reach us is our Bandcamp, and it's just Chronic Lethargy, like bandcamp.com, Chronic Lethargy or whatever. And then our Instagram is just at Chronic Lethargy. That's where we post the most, is our Instagram.
Right.
You can also follow us on Facebook, but most of our posts on Facebook are just brought over from Instagram. So
fair enough, guys.
You can also hit us up through Fuzzy Cracklins Presents. We have 3 singles through Fuzzy Cracklins. One of them you have to get your ass in the swamp to hear.
The Swamp Krewe, brothers.
Yeah. We have 2 singles to the public, 1 in the swamp.
Mm-hmm.
There's also some fun videos on YouTube if you guys want to go digging.
Yeah, we do have some fun videos over there.
You know what's funny? Surprisingly enough, I did go down that rabbit hole, and good stuff, brothers. I just
those are some old videos, man.
Well, I just put an episode out recently from Isaiah Mitchell from the band Earthless, and I grabbed a live interview or a live session, excuse me, and I said, you know what, why not grab a few more live sessions? So as I put out episodes, I'm going to try to put those on social, and I looked up yours, and yeah, I know which one I'm going to use. I absolutely do. Thank you so much to the guys in Chronic Lethargy. The album is Stonan. The first track, yeah, let's hear that one. This is the first track off of the latest release. It's Stoned Ape Theory. Thank you so much to Ian from No Masters Audio for producing this and creating this great sound. Thanks, brother. I know I don't know. I'm trying. I'm trying. And with what I give you to work with, man, you just knock it out of the park. So thank you. Link is in the show notes. Hit him up. I know he's working with a Sonoran Desert Doom band. Right this minute, they're finishing up on their release. Mum's the word on my end, but you can ask him. Maybe he'll tell you who it is. I don't know. All I know is I've heard some of the material, and they are knocking it out of the park. I can't wait to see it live. Oh, it sounds so good. doomtombpodcast.com is where you can find some archived episodes, brand new episodes. Also, doomtombpodcast@gmail.com and doomtombpodcast across all forms of social media. You're more than welcome to say hey. And you got a submission? You want to have a review? Whatever. You want to do an interview? Let me know. Thank you so much for hanging out towards the end. I always appreciate it. And until that next time, meantime, and in between time, enjoy yourselves, stay healthy, stay happy, and above all, stay heavy.